Let's get it going. We're feeling good today. In the stew. Fucking nice ass day. Really was a nice ass day. Didn't have work today. Had work today, but worked from home today. No, but we're here. It feels like a minute since we've been back, but let's get right into it with welcome back to episode 40 of the Mucn Show. Let's cue claps. Whoa. No, it's episode 40. I can't believe we got to 40 episodes. I can't believe we got to 40 in a very good format, which I'm grateful as all hell for, because, again, the podcast that I used to do, which loved those, but the first one I ever did in my basement of my parents' house was great. It was so fun to do, but, the quality of everything was dog shit. No mics, bullshit camera. It was bad. Second podcast, we had a little up. We were in, a relative studio, had mics, yada, yada. Shout out Vito, my boy. I wish you could move to LA so you could be my podcast host again. And then we landed on the Mucn Show here, and with a nice-ass studio, couldn't be more grateful for it. Got to 40 episodes somehow, which means we're not close. We're the funny saying of you master something after 10,000 hours of it. Not there yet. We're at about 40 hours in counting. I'd say we're into the hundreds and hundreds of hours when it comes to shooting it, editing it, setting it up, everything that goes into it. But as for the actual cut clean podcast episode, we're only at 40 at the moment. So we have a little while to go before we master it. So I know I say bear with me. Whoever does do the bearing with me, I appreciate it. But again, I enjoy doing it. Obviously one of my favorite things to sit here and do is talk. I'm what people would say is a yapper. I'm a yapper, sort of like what people think Glenn Powell is, Dua Lipa's boyfriend. Fuck you. No, I'm kidding. I don't really know him, but I just love Dua Lipa. But yeah, I'm a yapper. So, sitting in front of a mic and yapping about shit definitely could not be easier for me. Now, coming up with the topics and having back and forth with literally no one, obviously, is something that I'm still figuring out how to do the best of. And of course, as I always say, I'm trying to get more guests. But no, I think we've managed well for 40 episodes so far. If I do say so myself, I think it's been pretty good. Having a lot of fun with it. But no, we're here on a beautiful Wednesday. In the stew. Just got back to LA a couple days ago. I went to Denver for a boys trip, which was really fun. Wasn't supposed to be Denver. So shout out my brother. He is a great planner. Literally everybody puts it on him to plan shit. It's kind of one of those, we usually go with a group of 7, and everybody's legitimately like, all right, I don't give a fuck. Just tell me how much I have to pay and where we're going. Call it a day. He sets everything up. Bless his heart for that. That's high on the aura meter. But no, so we were doing Miami this year. We were all supposed to go to Miami from the 13th to the 17th. That got derailed literally the day before we were all leaving. I was leaving, and so many other people were leaving on Thursday night. Wednesday during the day, we start to see these, the news and the weather that Miami is literally underwater. Now, if you've never been to Miami before, yeah, they have fun clubs, good food. You're going for the beach. That's legitimately what you're going for. You're going to go to the beach, get in the beautiful waters, and then do the other fun extracurricular. But 80% of it, you're going to the beach. That's exactly what it's for. And with basically a hurricane coming around and literally the entire streets flooded, we realized oh, okay, that might not be an option anymore unless we literally want to spend money to do absolutely nothing. So Wednesday during the day, it was big planning time. And when I tell you so many places under the sun were thrown out, we were in the group chat. It was Armageddon for 2 hours where, again, Miami was out. My brother was 100. He wanted to go to a beach. He wanted a beach. So they threw out Charleston, Ocean City, Atlantic City. I threw out Cabo just for the beach aspect of it. We couldn't really land on anywhere. And then Austin, Texas got brought into the mix. A couple people were like, okay. We went to Vegas last year for our boys trip. And again, Boys trip for them at least is to unwind, go crazy, if you will. I'm a good boy. I'm kind of our designated DD, as you will, the watcher over of shit. Kind of the big bro of the group, for being completely honest. Like, everyone else is like my little bro that I'm taking care of. You know how it goes. And so we needed to figure out somewhere to go. And then I was like, you know what? I was texting a couple of them because everyone was figuring out what to do. And I was like, honestly, I already put in my OOO. I already spent my money. So like, I'm going somewhere. Like, say if the trip gets called off, 3 of our friends live in Denver anyways that are going on this trip, including my brother. So I was like, even if we don't pick a place, I'm just going to come to Denver. Why not? Like, I already had this plan. Why not? So then we all decided Denver it is. We already got 3 out of the 7 there. Everyone else can just reroute their trips to Denver, even though I fucked myself because while all that madness was going on, I was leaving literally that next night. So I needed to figure shit out quick. And I canceled my flight. This is the one and only time in my entire adult life of booking my own flights that I did not buy trip protection. I always do. I don't care if people are like, you don't need it. It's a waste. It's like $50. Who gives a shit? I'm buying trip protection. This one, I didn't, because I was like, you know what? What could go wrong? Florida's weather said, fuck you, watch this, basically. So a lot went wrong. And so I lost a good amount of money on that flight. Figured because I booked it on, my girlfriend's calling me, 1 second. Hello?
Do you have my keys?
Yeah, they were in the drink holder at I just didn't notice it until I got to the office and I didn't think you needed them.
Oh, okay.
Are you going somewhere?
I wanted to get my package.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. I'll be done with this soon.
Okay, I didn't realize Brett gave them to you.
No, you didn't give them to me. They were just in the car. Oh, that Brett gave them to me. Yeah, they were in the cup holder. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right, well, I will be home soon.
Do you know when you're going to be home?
I'm like 10 minutes into filming it right now, so maybe like 45.
10 minutes into filming it?
Yeah.
When did you get there?
Like 15-ish. I walked over to get another Starbucks drink.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the podcast right now, by the way.
I don't care.
You see how rude she is, guys? Like, she could have said hi. She could have said anything. She said she doesn't care.
Fan mail podcast.
Fan mail. She doesn't support my podcast. I need a hater in the home front, and that's what we live for. But I love you.
I love you too. I want my package.
You'll get your package.
Should I go see if Jimmy will open it?
He really might do it. Our front door man, Jimmy's the bro. He really might do it.
Okay.
All right, well, let me know.
Okay, I love you.
I love you too. Bye. But Bam Mail podcast, basically. But anywho, on that note, I figured, you know what? Great time to become, because I took American Airlines to Miami. I figured great time to become an American Airlines member. Why not? That was just a fucking extreme hassle in itself. Only gave me a couple $100 back. So at this point of the trip, I'm not going to lie, I'm out like $800. I'm like, I need to have fun. We need to do something. So everyone decides on Denver. Again, 3 of our friends live there. Well, 2 of my best friends and my brother live there. So everyone decides, okay, Denver it is, and we jet set to Denver. This was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it was an awesome trip. Like, so first night we get there, we go out, having a good time. Like, it was a great night. Went to a couple different bars. Second day is when Nate and Jonah landed, and we were going to this because we were like, I'm not gonna lie, we're degenerates at the end of the day. So it's like, we want to go gamble. Absolutely want to go gamble. So there's gambling in the middle of a mountain town called Black Hawk, Colorado, that quite literally, like, if you decided to make a big strip mall with big ass casino resort, like not resort, but big ass casino and hotel in the middle of the mountains. And I don't mean it like, in the hills, in the middle, like cliffs, both sides, but just smack dab in the middle. We're going to put some casino hotels. That's exactly what it was. So the second day we did that. That was fucking awesome. Went to this casino restaurant for dinner, which couldn't have been worse. Like, it could have been worse. It was just shit. It was dog shit food, if I'm being completely honest. But I was me and Nate, the only 2 people that came up on the casino so far. We're keeping the streak alive. Had a very good time. Shout out to, I don't remember the hotel name, but shout out to that casino because that helped basically pay for the entire trip. No, then after that, we were all supposed to, as an entire group, we took 2 cars because obviously there's 7 people. We were supposed to go to this hike that was like an hour away in the mountains. Mind you, Blackhawk, there's like 2 roads in, 2 roads out. That's it. And we load up the first car and we start going. We're all going to meet at this diner before, have breakfast, lunch, then go to this hike. So we go and we see 2 police officers on the side of the road, and we keep driving. Then we see like an EMT and another police officer coming. Now, mind you, this is like in the mountains, let's go fucking free soloing community. So we figured like, oh, okay, yeah, someone just died for sure. Like someone is at the bottom of that basin and they fell off a cliff. Cause like what else? It's not like a car. It wasn't like some big scene that a car veered off the road. It was definitely like a hiker that just got fucked. And we didn't think anything of it. We were like, all right, we're going to keep driving. We get to this diner and the rest of our friends call me. They're like, hey, we're probably not going to go on the hike with you guys. Like, why not? And they were like, well, the one road to get there is literally blocked off by police. They're not letting everyone through, which is kind of like a dick thing to do. Like, I get it, you're doing your job. Like, open a lane up. Like, you got to let people through. The other road literally is like a 2-hour drive that takes you the far way all the way around. So they were not coming on this hike. They're like, no, we're not coming. So we ended up going on the hike. And when I tell you, I've been in Denver 4 or 5 times now. That elevation hit me like a ton of bricks. Now, I've never had an issue with elevation in Denver, and shy of going to like Red Rocks or this one other place where it was like a very minimal hike, I had never like hiked in Colorado. I've only been to like scenic overlooks and drives and like small little walks, basically. Never been on a hike. Mind you, this place is, we had to drive like 9 miles on a dirt road to get to the beginning of this hike. So already I was just like, hell yeah, we are remote. We are absolutely remote. Yay. Saw a lot of people, so that was good. So I'm like, all right, well, shit goes sideways, whatever, but you're still fucked. Like, you're going to have to get airlifted out of there because that's new. So first 5 minutes of the hike as we're going up, my heart feels like it's just beating out of its chest. I'm breathing like crazy. And I hear my 2 friends behind me who are also probably in better shape than me, and they're wheezing. So I was like, at first I'm like, nice, I'm in pretty good shape. I'm not the only one wheezing right here. But then that clicked to me where I'm like, maybe it's not an in shape thing. Maybe it's whatnot. So then my head starts going crazy. And I was just like, oh, fuck. Like, it was to the point where I almost passed out. And like, I look at them, I'm like, yo, am I the only one that's like hyperventilating right now? And they're like, no, like you're not the only one, trust me. And so we had to stop for a little bit to look at the view, basically help us, live. And the rest of the hike went great, but I almost died to the point where if I passed out there, shy of like hoping that all it was me passing out, waking back up, calling it a day, we would have had some major issues. Like, there was a quick internal monologue going on with me where I was like, figuring out different ways to tell them, like, yo, I'm going to go wait at the car. I'm going to go wait at the car. But when you're with the guys, when you're with the bros, you're not going to be the soft one. Like, that's not a possibility. You can't be like, I'm not going to do this. That's not the fuck. That's not how it works. So I was like, well, it's not going to be me. So I'm powering through this whatever way I have to. Ended up being good about halfway through the hike, and we were fine. But that hike was intense. I didn't even realize it because I was carrying a backpack, that when we got done with the hike and got back to the car, literally like wringing out my shirt, soaked. I was soaked. But no, the hike was beautiful. Ended with like a big fire tower at the top of this like cliff, and it was sick. So that was that. It wouldn't have been a boys' trip without a lot of good arguments, mostly from one of my good friends who works in Denver, and he was planning on it being a boys' trip away. So he didn't want to go and party at his local scene, and he was making a big deal out of that. He was, I don't want to go. I didn't take PTO to go, blah, blah, blah. And it was awesome. Like, maybe I'll insert some clips of the argument because it was absolutely amazing, but just back and forth. 30 seconds later, all good. But I don't know if anybody else has those friends that during, not like just random situations because everyone gets stressed, whatever, but during specific situations, gets very, very stressed, anxious, everything. This one friend of mine, it's 2 boys trips in a row now. He just gets beside himself. And not like he's like mad at people. It's like he just gets very, very anxious and stressed. And then like everyone else absorbs it. And I don't know what it is about it because, again, a boys trip, you're not supposed to give a fuck. You're supposed to just let loose, have fun. You're with the boys. Who cares? Like, let's just do whatever. It's good. But he always gets so stressed. And I don't know why, because it's like, you're with the boy. Like, none of us give a shit. We could literally be sitting here doing nothing. And, like, which at a lot of points we did. Like, it was just the point of just chilling with each other. But no, he gets very, very, he's definitely probably one of my more high-stressed friends, for sure. But, like, one of my favorite people on earth. Love him to death. But, yeah, I don't know. He just, like, something hits him when it's the boys in town, because he just gets uber stressed out. But other than that, it was a great fucking trip. I mean, how could you not have a good time with the boys? Like, that's literally why a boys trip was made, was to vibe. Like, whoever decided on the first, we're going to have a boys trip where we just fuck around, chill, and vibe out, they knew the recipe. They really, really knew the recipe, because that's all you got to do. Doesn't matter if you're in the middle of the mountains, at the beach, Vegas, whatever. Like, you're vibing with the boys is good. So it was a great trip. Back to LA, we caught, obviously, some of the NBA Finals in Denver. Had to come back to witness such a bullshit championship. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like someone who's been a diehard Lakers fan for 40 years. I'm a Miami Heat fan, for God's sakes. I'm not someone who's been a diehard Lakers fan for 40 years that hates the Celtics are just so corny. Everything about them is just so fucking corny that I just, like, could not fathom them winning a championship. I didn't want it. Like the rest of the world, I just did not want it. And it happened. Our greatest nightmare happened. Boston fans / just the Celtics in general get to hang up another banner, and then we got to watch Jason Tatum just plagiarize iconic NBA moments for an entire night. I think there was 4 of them where he copied Kevin Garnett's I Can't Believe It with, like, We Did It, copied Steph Curry's What They Gonna Say Now, tried to copy Kobe's iconic photo, and then he copied Kanye's Everyone Wanted to Know What I Would Do If I Didn't Win. I Guess We'll Never Know. That's 4 things. 4 iconic moments Jason Tatum plagiarized within a night. Now, I get it. You won a championship. But, like, I've never seen someone with less aura and so unoriginal. Aura is a big topic recently. We'll get into that. But the lengths of which Jason Tatum went to become as corny as possible in the NBA, from the initial texting Kobe Bryant's number post-mortem, I got you, bro, and then proceeding to post it on social media. Wild move. Absolutely wild move. But he's just one of the corniest players out there. And, I mean, it's insane how he just displayed that on full effect the other night. It was just absurd to me. But they won the championship. Jaylen Brown somehow won Finals MVP, even though Jason Tatum literally averaged more than him in everything, at least with points, rebounds, and assists throughout the finals. Like, that's wild to me. I don't know if, like, it just took into account of, like, I mean, again, most valuable, but, like, biggest effect on them throughout the playoffs, etc. But it's the finals, and I don't know how you can not be the most valuable when you led, but, like, you had the best percentage of points, rebounds, and assists. Literally the major 3. So I don't know how. I mean, again, this will make mostly just Boston fans, but people like, yeah, Jaylen Brown was worth, the $300 million. He for sure was. And it's like, okay, bro. Like, and it's Boston fans that are going to tell you that, and maybe a couple like Stephen A. Smith type people. But regardless, I'm happy it's over, and I'm going to say this right now. There's literally no chance of a two-peat. Just no chance at all. I mean, how Dallas was a great team, but I mean, how they managed to get through the West is just crazy, and they deserved it. They played absolute great basketball throughout the playoffs. But my point with that is, if the Celtics were met with the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, OKC, it would have been a different story because, in my opinion, the Mavs just didn't have depth. Like, the Celtics had 5 players that are going to give you buckets, and then their 5 bench players are also going to come in and at least maintain it while their 5 starters sit. Like, Mavs didn't have that. Luka was playing awful defense. Kyrie didn't show up. And then, you don't have a lot of other weapons on them. You have good players on the Mavs, but you don't have weapons on the Mavs team to be able to. I mean, like, we're talking Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, KP, Derek White, Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, the other white boy. Like, and they're all able to seemingly just, like, fit into it and still play high-level basketball. Like, if the Celtics were matched with a team who was on it the entire time, defensively, wasn't getting tired, any of that shit, I personally believe it was a different story. And again, I'm just a hater of the Celtics, so of course that's the route I'm going to take. But it's what I believe to be true. So, no, next year's a different story. Again, I'm going to short the Boston Celtics stock. I'm going to. There's no chance they win an NBA Finals again. If they're going to make the playoffs, of course. And on top of that, the Celtics are just an organization like literally every year when the Chiefs are like, no one believed in us. Calm down. Almost everybody believed in you. You just maybe lost a couple games. Like, the Celtics were a 64-win team talking about we overcame adversity, what they gonna say now. No one believed in us. Like, you literally were the most winning team in the NBA with an amazing starting 5. What do you mean no one believed in you and you weren't supposed to win that? That, like, I hate when people do that. Like, LeBron on his Cavs team talk about no one believed in us. Yeah, you did. Came down 3-1 against the most winningest team of all time with, Kyrie Irving and J.R. Smith. Like, yeah, that's deserving. But no, Jason Tatum is just as corny as it gets. I'm actually happy he didn't win Finals MVP. Aside from him having the better stats, I'm very ecstatic he didn't win Finals MVP. So that's that. Next year we're going to be able to see Bronny on the Lakers, which, fuck it, right? I mean, why not? LeBron's running it, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, at this point, when people are upset that LeBron is basically an acting GM of the Lakers, like, what do you expect? Of course, they're going to give that man almost everything he possibly wants because, again, he has the power to be like, all right, bye. And I think that's where some of the decision went in with Dan Hurley too, where I think that's the best decision in the world for Dan Hurley to stay at UConn. I mean, he's such a staple to college basketball, UConn in general, and he's such a Northeast guy where I know he was at Wagner. I forget what other colleges he was at, but he's just such a Northeastern guy where, like, if in some years the Knicks, Celtics, Sixers, like, maybe Nets, those jobs open up, then we're talking. But, like, he has such a personality of, like, not LA, and that's such a compliment to him where it just wasn't going to fit. On top of Dan Hurley is a psychopath in the best way possible, where his coaching style is meant to mold people into amazing basketball players and just, like, people, and bringing people on to trust his vision and, like, almost do what the fuck I'm telling you to do. And, like, that's it. He wasn't going to get that from LeBron. He wasn't going to get that from AD. Maybe Austin Reeves, maybe Hachimura, but, like, your 2 best players, like, aren't going to give you that attention that you need to be respected enough to coach them. And I just feel like him doing it for that money, it just wouldn't have ended well. And, he's on, I'm not talking about winning because, again, Coach K has won a fuckload at Duke, and so is Calipari at Kentucky, but he's on some Coach K vibes, especially with UConn, where it's like he's just such a staple to the college basketball community. 2 in a row, might as well go for 3, like, which would be insane history. And he's a Northeastern guy. He's grit. Like, that's what Dan Hurley is. So that's, again, going back to the LeBron acting as a GM, like, that wasn't going to work with Dan Hurley. And I think Dan Hurley knew that. Not just LeBron, but just in general, like, the differences between coaching college basketball and professional basketball. It just wasn't going to work. What? Are you going to sit there and tell LeBron to run stairs? And is he going to listen to you with his $1 billion in the bank, like, at 39 years old? Like, probably not. So I thought that was a good idea for Dan Hurley to stay at UConn. Makes college basketball more fun, makes it more fun to watch UConn. I mean, now they still have Dan Hurley. They still have Paige Beckers. Like, it's going to be a fun year to watch UConn men's and women's basketball. But going into women's basketball, what they're doing to our sweet Caitlin is insane. It's insanity. Now, don't get me wrong. I've talked about this in the podcast before where for you to want to get your league taken seriously, such as the WNBA, there's going to be physicality. There's going to be rivalries. There's going to be, that type of play type. But some of this shit to our sweet Caitlin is crazy. The number one entity that is quite literally giving you guys charter flights, ABC games almost daily, 20,000 seat packed arenas, shit like that is insane to me. Now, I'm not sitting here being like, you guys need to lay out a pillow and blanket for her when she goes to the rack. I'm not saying that, but they're literally these teams are literally going out of their way to hurt Caitlin Clark. Don't get me wrong. And I know I was talking about in the NBA, when LeBron first started, when young Steph was getting hot. Don't get me wrong. People are going to defend you hard. They're going to be physical with you. They're not going out of their way to hurt you. They're not going out of their way to make sure that you get fucked up. None of that. So I'm a big believer in yes, you need to be physical. Yes, you need to give that to her. And almost on as long I wouldn't mind what's happening to Caitlin Clark right now is if Angel Reese comes and literally slaps the shit out of her head while she's going for a layup. Someone on Caitlin's team has to come and just level Angel Reese. Send her to the fucking floor. Get the tech, call it a day. But then people are going to watch that oh shit. Okay. If I come for her hard, there are consequences to that. Because again, do you think in any realm ever, and he spoke on this, if someone at all fouled Steph Curry the wrong way, Draymond Green is going to sit there and not give a fuck? Please. Now, I know he's a different individual, but you think if someone violated Jalen Brunson that, Josh Hart, Julius Randle, is it going crazy? You think if someone almost hurt Jason Tatum, Kristaps, Derek White, Jaylen Brown aren't coming straight to you? No. Same on the football field. You fuck with a quarterback too hard, yeah, you're getting fucked up 100%. So, that's my beef with it. It's just the Fever needs to send a message to people I bet you foul her on this side, just wait until your next layup. Just wait. Because at that point, that's the only thing that's getting the message across. But they need to stop hurting our sweet Caitlin because she's taking the WNBA to the promised land. I don't know why people think that it's anybody else. Don't get me wrong, the rookie class is a great driver of that, and then obviously you have the aces with Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson, etc. that are also a great driver for that. Of course, you still have Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, etc. Great drivers of that. But this year specifically, with the specific hype of the young people, yes, it's the rookie class. It is so fucking much Caitlin Clark. That's absolutely what it is. So have some respect for that, please. And at first, I know everyone wants to paint it Angel Reese is just the competitor. Almost every game she's played in, literally that isn't even against the Fever, somehow she ties into Caitlin Clark. I don't know how she does it. And almost at this point, keep running with it. You might as well just be the hater of all haters. Because, she literally will play games against not Caitlin Clark. And in her post-game interviews, will talk about Caitlin Clark. It's insane. And I've never seen anything it's almost respectable level hating, but it's at the annoying stage right now where it's how about you get some buckets and then you can talk that shit. Because right now, that's not working. Your guys' team record is dog shit. So is the Fever, but you can't be talking. If Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson wanted to sit here and have an issue, or Sabrina Ionesco, I've butchered her last name, but if they want to talk some shit, sure. Your teams are great. You guys are putting up numbers. Yeah, you're allowed to talk that shit. But Angel Reese, come on now. That shit's just corny at this point. Every other day, it's, I did this. What? Caitlin Clark that? Especially, play ball. Straight up. But in other devastating news, our sweet, sweet Cameron Brink tore her ACL last night. It was devastating. it was devastating to wake up to that news. Our sweet Cameron Brink. Why would the basketball gods at this very moment do this? It makes no sense why this would happen. And it was on a relatively non-contact play, and if it wasn't like someone fouled her, so like if there was contact, it was very minimal, and it was like a freak accident type thing. But that's why I say basketball gods. Why would you take Cameron Brink off the floor? That makes no sense to me. And Twitter agrees. The tweets that came after that from like someone rushing the court and all this type of shit to save Cameron Brink from that ACL injury. I might even GoFundMe to give her my ACL. I might. And if anyone else out there wants to help, we'll just have ACLs lined up for Cameron Brink, because this is not what the WNBA needs. We do not need Cameron Brink on the sideline for the rest of the year. It's bullshit. Now, on top of that, the WNBA is wilding for, I know they want to seize the moment. I get that. But the WNBA is wilding for how many games they have packed in right after the college basketball season. So, like, this was relatively inevitable. I'm hoping that what just happened to Cameron Brink will be like a lesson for other teams to, like, you know, give these people some breaks, get them great medical and training care and all this type of shit, because, like, again, it being a freak accident just shows, like, don't get me wrong, Cameron Brink is, like, you know, she's tall. Like, of course, there's a lot of stress put on those legs, but still, like, you know, going from an entire college basketball season, having a couple weeks, then going straight into the WNBA season, a freak accident like this was bound to happen to somebody. But why'd it have to be Cameron Brink, man? It's bullshit. I'm very glad I got to see her play in person. She's awesome. Shout out Cameron Brink. But no, the WNBA has been lit so far. I want to go to another Caitlin Clark game. And then, no, honestly, it's been a battle. And then another battle that came to a relative close recently was the online turn real life battle of Logan Paul versus Bradley Martyn. Now, I want to give myself some flowers because, you know, I'm the type of person who, I live in LA. I'm kind of around this world. My friends aren't. So when I, like, will vouch or, like, you know, take a side with someone, like, no, this person would fuck that person up, or like, no, they're really about it, my friends back home were like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no way. Like, that dude's, no, stop it. Stop all the cap. From the second the Logan Paul, Bradley Martyn beef started, I was big on the train of, like, Logan will whoop him. In either of them, whether he wants to do straight boxing or you want to get MMA, wrestling, etc. involved. Because behind the YouTube stuff, let's just say early on, Logan was a state champion wrestler going to Ohio State University for wrestling. That's not an easy feat. That's not an easy thing to do. Like, that you cannot be unathletic in any sense of the word. Even if you went D3 wrestling, he was going to Ohio State University for wrestling. That's absurd. Like, that's very, very athletic. On top of that, he's been pretty athletic in training his entire life. Then he was heavy training in boxing. Now he's in the WWE. Don't get me wrong. I know WWE is, like, you know, performative wrestling. Do you know how, like, in shape and jacked and everything you have to be to, like, be able to do that? So when the Logan Paul, Bradley Martyn beef got started, I was big on, Logan, no matter what, they're doing MMA boxing, Logan's got this. And everyone thought I was crazy for it because obviously Bradley's huge, 260, bodybuilder, whatever. But, like, I was like, no, Logan's got this. Just last week, Logan FaceTimed him, said, yo, I'm in LA, like, let's do this. You've been talking, let's fucking go. Are you going to be at your gym? Let's do this. Supposedly there's no videos of it out there. They think Bradley obviously has security cam footage of it that, of course, he'll never put out. But Logan won, and that's from all sides. It's not like it was close where Logan's being like, I won, and Bradley being like, no, I won. It's clear as day from how everyone is talking about it. Logan won that fight and put it to rest finally of, like, Bradley, you know, chirping it. And I like Bradley Martyn, so this is no hate to him. But, like, chirping and chiming of us like, oh, is he really about it? I want him in this. I want him in that. I'm like, you got him. He finally agreed to it, and you lost. And you could tell they did post one video of, like, right after the fight. Bradley was clearly all, like, pieced up. not bleeding and shit like that, but you could just definitely tell he took a little bit of a beating. They were all tired, like, and Logan caught that W. So for Prime, shout out Logan. I figured it was gonna happen, and don't mess with them Ohio boys. Yeah, they've been influencers for a while, and that maybe they're not out here fighting Canelo, but don't mess with them Ohio boys. That's all I got to say. I mean, shit, Logan's like 6'3" too. But, so no, Logan won that fight. I wish I made a bet with somebody. I mean, there was no video of it, so there's no, but Logan won the fight. So I knew I was right on that one, and I loved it. I'm trying to think of, what else that, speaking, wow, I'm doing bad at transitions, but also because someone I work with here is a big JT Justin Timberlake fan, and that dude was fighting for his life in that cell really quick because Justin Timberlake just the other day got arrested for a DWI in the Hamptons. And first off, I truthfully thought the Hamptons was just like a restricted zone for celebrities and rich people to do whatever the fuck they wanted. Like, I legitimately did not know you could get formally arrested in the Hamptons, for something like that. I always thought the Hamptons was a place where it's just say you did something bad, the police would just pick you up really quick, put you in the back seat, have a nice conversation with you, drop you off at home, tell your significant other, your housekeeper, hey, I just picked him up here, he can pick his car up in the morning, hope you guys are good, and call it a night. I did not think you could actually get arrested for things in the Hamptons. I didn't think that was a thing. Sort of Brentwood, Malibu, except I didn't think you could get arrested for real things there. Don't get me wrong, maybe a little hey, don't do that. And again, they pick you up, give you a blankie in the back seat, and then take you home. I didn't think you could actually get arrested. On top of the fact of being Justin Timberlake getting arrested. But I guess the funniest part of it is that the cops who arrested him were so young, they did not know who he was. And I guess he muttered under his breath that, oh, this is going to ruin the tour. And the cop said, what tour? And he said, the world tour. The cop would know at all what the fuck he was talking about. And I just think that's hilarious because it'd be one thing if he did that, the cop knew who he was and either clowned him for it or let him go. But the fact that he tried pulling that, oh, this is gonna ruin the tour, and the guy just being what? What are you talking? What tour? This dude's just out of his mind. And the mugshot was hilarious because people are if I send you this, just know I need to be picked up. But it's not going to ruin the tour. I mean, someone like Justin Timberlake getting a DWI is not going to affect his ticket sales at all. It might make people make fun of him for a little while. You think it's going to affect Justin Timberlake's ticket sales? You think the people who love Justin Timberlake give a shit that he got a DWI? Absolutely not. Even the girl I was talking with in his office could give a shit at all. And a couple of people are even yeah, it's Jessica. It's Jessica's fault. Sweet, sweet Jessica? How could it be her fault? Justin Timberlake was the one driving the car. Jessica wasn't even there. How would it be her fault? And all the girls are it just is. It's because I'm not with him. I could fix him. That I get. It's of course, if you're a girl and you know you could fix this man, it's 100% his girl's fault, as it should be all the time. But I just thought that was funny that he got arrested in a place that, nobody thought someone could get arrested for. Also, I had a coming to moment the other day that we were in our office and a girl we work with, upon leaving the office, popped her, literally 5 feet outside of our building, popped her tire on a curb, and we found it out, and it was relatively my fault because I was calling her a bunch of times about some work shit, and she looked at her phone, and that's when she popped her tire. I'm sorry. But we get out, we see someone else from the building help change her tires or whatever, so we're just waiting for her, walking back and forth from cars, whatnot. I walk up to this girl's car, and we're all chilling and talking, and she was with another girl who works with us, and the other girl says to me, she's like, do you know how to change a tire? I was fuck no, I don't know how to change. I've never changed a tire in my life. And she joked, she's like, oh, he says, the guy changing the tire says only men know how to change tires. And I was like, word. So this is how it's going to go. And he looks at me, he goes, do you know how to change tires? I was like, no. I could have been that guy and been yeah, I just don't want to do it right now. And then have zero aura, not knowing how to change a tire in front of everybody. I showed what it has to have motion and aura by coming clean and saying, I don't know how to change a tire. But anywho, he then proceeds to tell me, yeah, maybe it's because I'm old fashioned and maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. And, you the type wake up at 4:30, instantly work out to start your day and, very handy with his hands. Mind you, he's trying to flirt with our coworker. Absolutely. And it was hilarious. And I was like, no, man, don't do any of that. Not a single one of what you just said I do. Don't wake up at 4:30. Don't work out at 4:30. Don't know how to change a tire. Apologize. I don't grow my own vegetables. And he was, maybe it's just because, maybe it's just an older thing. I'm not sure. I literally lived one of those Instagram reels that you always see of those dudes talking about, waking up at 3 a.m., just eating raw meat, going for a 20-mile run, and then just, eating glass after that, having 3 days and, splitting up your days into 4s. It's ridiculous. I literally lived one of those in real life, and it was awesome. He thought he was owning me. It was sick. I've never actually met someone. I've met certain people in real life that are like, yeah, I get up at, but aren't making it sound like that. They're like, yeah, I get up at 4:30 because, I just have to get this done before. Good for you. This dude was big on, you don't wake up at 4:30 and instantly work out? You're not changing tires out here? Dude, what are you doing? And it was awesome. I was honestly bro had me in a chokehold. I was like, you know what? I don't do any of that. No, I don't. And this dude, he had Riz. I'm not going to lie. He was 40 trying to mac up our 20-year-old coworker. And it was hilarious because, he changed her tire. Of course, he was just like, yeah, we should all get lunch sometime. Me and my girlfriend were just like, no, not going to do that. Then he flexed on us that he was a lawyer too. So that was good. But I never got basically subliminally rizzed up by a man asking if I could change a tire. It's kind of insane. And I thought that was one of the better moments I've had in the recent future because he was just, he big bro'd me. He really did big bro me. And I will say the way he talked was the most auraless thing I've ever heard. Bro did not win the aura match because I was just sitting there arms out. I was like, yeah. No, I don't know how to do that, little bro. Keep changing that tire for me. But no, had no Riz whatsoever. Almost exact opposite of the Rizzler and Big Justice and Big AJ and their fam. And what I mean by that, I don't know if anyone's seen the family that has just taken over our feeds, as in the Costco family, the Bang Meter family. And it is just an Italian family from God knows where, I would assume New Jersey. They got famous from being Costco people, what they get at Costco. And AJ, who's the dad, with his son Big Justice, talking about their chicken thing and their double chocolate chunk cookie. They're awesome. Just absolutely took the world by storm, making a ton of Costco videos, fun videos for themselves, etc. It wasn't until the other day they were doing a cookie review when they introduced to the world the Rizzler. Now this kid was a chunk, but the best type of one in the world, because it reminded me literally of me at that age. I was a chunk, trust me. And they're doing cookie reviews. It goes AJ first. My guy Big Justice came second. Third pops in a cloud of smoke, the Rizzler. And it was just a kid that was maybe 4'1", 150 pounds, just chomping on this cookie, and gave it a 5 out of 5 on the Bang Meter. And I've never been as immersed into a video as possible watching the Rizzler eat this cookie. And then they just did a recent one with snacks. But I'm afraid, I don't know if anybody else is, if they're up on, AJ and all them, that I'm afraid that the Bang Meter might be getting a little biased. Because there's been two Bang Meters I've seen recently. Oh, boom meters. That's what they're called. Sorry. Forgive me, Big Justice and Rizzler. There's been 2 videos now that the boom meter have given 5 out of 5 booms every single time. And I'm worried that it's getting skewed. I don't want the boom meter to become something that's not credible, because the boom meter is very credible at this very moment when I watch their videos. So I don't want them to keep giving out 5 out of 5s, because like without the boom meter and Big Justice at the helm, what do we got? Truthfully, like they are our first family at the moment. So shout out Big Justice, Big AJ, all their fam. And we love it. Not changing. But something else that's changing, and it just showed again where obviously everyone knows my thoughts on Ariana Grande, but again recently she just showed it even more, where first off she was asked about the Nickelodeon doc in general, and she had a quote that she was just like, yeah, like it upset me, I guess. You watched that doc and you followed it up with like, I guess it upset me, like who knows, whatever. And it just showed me where I'm like, you really don't give a shit about that. But on top of that, Ariana Grande did a podcast with Penn Badgley and someone else who I didn't know. It's Penn Badgley's podcast. And you saw in real time her going from her real self to what she's trying to be, where she talked like this for a little bit and had her voice, the one that she's accumulated over time. And then out of nowhere, she went back to like this one, and she was talking about Wicked. And oh my God, it's just like literally, it was a split second of back and forth. She realized like, oh shit, I'm talking in my accent that isn't even a real voice, but she tried to become for a while, and then she had to go back to her. Oh my God, wow. Like, Mariana, and it just showed to me like just some fake shit. Now she commented on someone's TikTok being like, no, I have to talk like this for voice lessons. I gotta blah, blah, blah. You act like we don't know that you've been touring and doing concerts for the last 10 years. Your voice has never sounded like that. I get it. Maybe Wicked, had some different, but you've done world tours. You sung on Victoria, like, I'm not buying it that like you had to like, no, you're trying to be something. You got, you realize you got caught up really quick and had to go back to what, your new personality. It was just insane. And it was in real time where you literally saw her talking like this. And then, it was crazy. I've never actually seen anything like it going like you take some points from Austin Butler. If you literally want to have that voice, keep it stick and never going it away, I think you need to have a conversation with Austin Butler, because he will absolutely help you. But it was just wild to see in the first time. But I'm trying to think what else, we out here. But also just because like at first obviously she had espresso, then she had please, please, please. I bet you don't embarrass me, motherfucker. Sabrina Carpenter is in her takeover era. And, I mean, what better than, our Taylor Swift's mentee to come and take shit over. And I talked about this a couple podcasts ago, where it's crazy that, and again, Emma thinks part of it was, like, manufactured, the beef between her and Olivia Rodrigo, where who would have thought that two people who used to be friends had a falling out over this boy, which that falling out skyrocketed one's career. And I mean skyrocketed to the point of winning like 3 Grammys, nominated for another 3 world tours, like #1 albums, like insane. Olivia Rodrigo. And then the other girl, takes her time, whatever, but has more monthly listeners than than Olivia Rodrigo. Like Sabrina Carpenter, like imagine that. And poor Joshua Bassett just sitting there doing his thing. But it's crazy to me that like that happened where like they were best friends, had a falling out, and then now they're in music wise like two of the most successful people at this very moment, like touring and that people love. And Sabrina Carpenter clearly at the moment is just coming out with bop after bop. She's an it girl for a lot of people. The way that like not only does her music slap, she has an aura. She's got aura. Sabrina Carpenter's got aura, for real. And she's got something about her that, like, is that kind of, like, don't fuck with me, I'm a bad bitch energy, like, that type of thing that people love, and it serves her very well. And then now she has a thing. Like, when you have a thing, it makes it so much better, where her thing is after, not Espresso, but I forget her one song, that every place she goes to, whether it's the specific city or like when she was on the BBC network, like venue, event, whatever, she freestyles a quick little 3-line thing about where she's like what she's doing and everything. And like be me like that one. And people love it. They live for it. Like that's something that they are looking forward to going to her show of like, okay, what's she going to make up this time? And I think that's amazing. Like the fact that now she has a thing, people are waiting for it, got good ass music. So I think that's crazy how like from where her and Olivia Rodrigo started to where they are now is insane. I think it's insane. And I think it's fucking, I guarantee you, if Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter aren't already behind the scenes, like being friends and like secretly linking up, doing this and that, or like working on music, it's going to happen in the future. And it's like when those two eventually do link up and start to make music together, it's going to go ape shit. I'm sure the song is going to absolutely slap, but on top of that, the world is going to go crazy. Like their fans are going to go berserk for it and it's going to go quintuple platinum with females all over the world. And I'm going to be bumping it too, like males too, but it's going to go fucking insane. But no, shout out to that. And one other thing that I have to give so much respect to people like Kai Cenet from, don't get me wrong, I give respect to other streamers being able to do their thing hours and hours on end of just sitting there and like being entertaining enough for people to watch. But someone like Kai Cenet that is able to like someone tweeted about it and it was true to me, where it's like he's almost the real life iCarly, where your streams are able to legitimately basically be like legitimate television show or episodes of things, whether it's from, him having 21 Savage quickly on stream, or him doing his Elden Ring stream, or Druski's stream, or now his sleepover streams where I forget who was on his first one, but it was Offset, which was awesome. But his most recent two that he's had, the one that he just had with Kevin Hart, and then his sleepover stream with Druski and Kevin Hart, was legitimately like TV, where I didn't watch because I don't have Twitch or anything like that, but all the clips I watched was insane. Like they just have different themes throughout the night, whether it's like they did Druski's funny little talent show thing, they danced, they reacted to videos, they pretended to act with each other, they ate like a full dinner, they slept. Like it was like one thing after another of like being able to plan all of that out, almost to the point of like you're shooting a YouTube video, like a very in-depth YouTube video, but all of it's live at the same time, which is insane. And I thought those, at least again, from all the clips I thought those streams were awesome. I'm hoping to see those three together in any capacity, whether it's another stream, whether it's Druski and Kai doing something with Kevin. I definitely think if more can happen with it and they get either acting training or something like that, you will see a project from Heartbeat Productions that is a Kai, Druski, like that demographic of people with Kevin Hart, because it fits so perfectly. Like even one like my favorite parts of the stream is Kevin was talking to, I forget his name, but he was like, "Oh, you can act, you want to act? Like I could see you in that." And Druski was like, "Rich people love saying dumb shit like that." And it was just like just calling each other out, and there's like the way their relationship is perfect. And again, I think that's an amazing trio that will definitely do future more traditional entertainment in the future, and I can't wait for it, because again, like that three is just amazing. They know how to play off each other. They know when it's a bit and to keep going, and it's just like Kai Cenet has changed so much more from just like being just a streamer. It's like now he's hitting like very mainstream to the point where it's just like he's almost like the streamer version of David Dobrik. Sort of like when David Dobrik would do vlogs, but then like, he had Kevin Hart on one, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Kendall Jenner, like Justin Bieber. Like it's Kai's starting to be like that, where it's like, he had Kevin Hart and Druski on a stream, 21 Savage, Offset, like his in real life, literally his last in real life stream, he got invited to Northwest's birthday by Kim Kardashian, because Kai Cenet is North's favorite streamer. To which then he met Lala Anthony. To which then they literally played Ding Dong Ditch with Lala, Kim Kardashian, and fucking Mariah Carey. Which then followed by Kai FaceTiming Travis Scott. Think about that sentence really quick. I'm sure Kai even is just like, what? Trying to wrap his head around that shit. And it's sick. And to like think like he's been a good streamer for a minute. But again, he was just doing regular streaming shit, nothing crazy. And now he's legitimately the iCarly mixed with David Dobrik into a streamer. And it's awesome. And like, honestly, I cannot wait to see what other shit he has to do. Because he's the biggest of the big in my opinion. Maybe not by numbers, but I mean, technically by live viewers, yeah. But no, I thought that stream was awesome. I want him to keep like just doing all this cool shit with like way A-list people and shit. But no, I thought that was funny as shit. So shout out Kai Cenet, Druski, Kevin Hart, all them. But no, I thought that was sick. But no, we're nearing the end of episode 40. Had a lot of fun talking about all that shit. Giving you a little updates on life at the moment. But no, as always, I appreciate whoever wants to come in here and listen to me mumble and, you know, talk about shit for however long episodes are. Obviously, like whoever does want to tune in, appreciate the shit out of you. I love every single second of it. I want to do more content shit. I used to do fun little weekly vlogs. I want to get back to that. Obviously, I want to keep doing this. And yeah, I love every second of it. I'm grateful for it. And, you know, we're going to get, like, I know I say this a lot. I'm going to sound like a fucking broken record. We're going to get guests in here at some point. I told you last time, it's not that easy to just reach out to someone and have it work. So we will, I promise. But, you know, you just got me for a solo episode right now, but I love every second of it. And until next time, peace.